Yeah, I play the Botvinnik myself. It's a good system. Okay, what are we doing here? I think I've played a Sicilian yet, have I? Dragon Alley. Okay, so it seems like he wants to play the Smith-Morra attack. Gambit. No, he wants to play this. Okay. Basically, that's to prevent the pin on the knight. That's why I developed this. So now when I develop the knight, he actually has to move the queen. So although it looks like a loss of tempo, it's actually kind of a free move because he's forced to move the queen again. Now, what do I do with the other pieces? I guess I'll do this. If he pushes, I'll take and trade queens. Oh, I could take with the knight, but and then I can go for a dragon setup. So as to keep this pawn well defended. Defended by a pawn, at least. The e pawn defends the d pawn, as opposed to pushing the e pawn and developing the dark squared bishop this way. So bishop here, rook here, pawn up, knight here to here, that kind of thing. And I can go to here and then to here if there's a rook behind it supporting it. Or then I could go to here and then to here. I guess if it goes to this square, it'll get chopped. But first I have to get this bishop out of the way, probably to d7 here, maybe e6, d7, e6. On e6, it's a target for the knight here. Not a big deal, I guess. It just goes back. Is he trying to decide which way to castle? I don't know what he's thinking about here. Is he wondering whether he should push this pawn? Queen c7. Yeah, it gets away from these various attacks on the pawn here. But I think I'll move the bishop first anyway. So since he moved the king over here, I'll put the bishop on e6. Then, actually I can bring the queen out here. Threaten this pawn. Not really threaten it. Let's bring the rook over. Okay, he's going to harass my knight. It'll go here, I think. See, knight here to here is possible because the bishop and the rook are both supporting the knight and the queen can't take it, even with the bishop behind it. So let's since he's going straight for the throat, let's do something similar. So that's the thing I was talking about. He can move the knight to threaten my bishop. The bishop can go back, but really, do I want it to? I think I'll go here with the knight. Even after he takes my bishop, I take back. He still can't take my knight, and I am threatening to take his bishop. So I will not be bullied. let's see. Yeah, I have to take because my queen is under attack. It opened up an F file for me. Maybe I can use that sometime too. But queen, how can I get to this file? This square is under control of his bishop. I could go to here and to here, right? I could move my queen to here and to here, threatening this pawn. That's something I could do. So he wants to attack that bishop. Let's get my queen out. Or that he's attacking that knight. He saved his bishop and attacked the knight. I could move my knight and attack his queen. Now, let's see. If I go here with check and he takes, I can actually take this guy. Yeah, there's a dog here. The clitter-clatter of little nails. And they still give him something to think about. Yeah, he went there. So I could sack the exchange. And then move this knight to open up the bishop. Okay, well, he moved his king, got out of check, but he hasn't defended his knight, so my knight is still safe. Or so I say. With the knight moves, then my knight and rook are concentrated on this square, and there's another check there. E5. I just thought I would move the knight. Yeah, so he did that. Okay, so let's go here with check. Now I can go here hitting his queen, but his knight, he's got a knight there. So let's take here. Well, I don't know. I think it's good. I think this is good. So now I can go here. This threatens the queen and threatens to mate. So he goes there. Now what? get the rook and the bishop working together, maybe. Okay, pinned my knight. That was mean. But logical. Okay, so I can take here. And I can take here with check. Queen takes, I take, and then he takes my queen. So let's move the queen first. Maybe just go here where it's defended. Or here. No, the rook's on that square. And white times out. I wonder, here, let's just go to the analysis board and see what the actual evaluation was in the final position. White to move. Yeah, it's -3, so -4. -3, -4. -4.5 as it thinks harder. Yeah, it's a good position for me. So I finally had a good win there. Let's go get another game. Finally made it to the B file. Yeah. He forced me. Okay, well, as a Sicilian, so let's do a French. So this is a French exchange variation. Normally they put the bishop here, but other than that, it's pretty standard. Let's prevent the pin now that I have a moment here. This pin in my experience, this pin is pretty annoying. Hard to come out. And the knight was defending this pawn, as well as the bishop, because I could take with check and then take the knight. So that might be useful to stop the knight from jumping into this square and support this pawn. Okay, he's thinking of sacrificing, I guess. I'm thinking of harassing his dark squared bishop. It hasn't got any squares. So he just has to move. But then I have another knight I can bring back to that same very good square. And this knight is looking kind of silly, I think, at this point. So you can try and mate me on this diagonal, but it's not going to work. That could be a problem, but it's not a check, so I can pin you, sir. Unpin. So I can take this knight, but then that will be... Oh, actually, it's still pinned. Take the knight. It takes with a pawn. Yeah, usually they support the knight with the second pawn. They supported it with the queen. You want me to play b5, a6? It's kind of not what I would do in this position. It leaves you with the backward c pawn. So, well, we'll see what he does about this one. It's kind of a double attack, it looks like. Although he can move his knight to defend this pawn, I think. Oh no, I can't take that one. Once again, yeah, I'm being easily fooled these days. Knight threatening pawn, threaten knight. Too complicated for me. Yeah, I think I'll just drop back here. I might, it's kind of more my style to push this way, push here and then push here, try and break up the center. This gives me another place to develop the bishop too. Connect my rooks. Have to make sure this pawn stays defended, I guess. Can always develop the bishop here. So no, let's do it this way. Yeah, that's what I've seen lots of times. They get the get this knight on a good square and then bring the pawn up behind it. It's not bad, not bad at all. But I'm just going to try and get this pawn out of the way so I can open up this diagonal for my bishop. Cause some mischief. Now let's bring a pawn up, and I'm threatening an immediate fork. We don't do takebacks. Well, I sometimes give takebacks when it's an obvious what you call it, blunder, an obvious mouse slip. I will sometimes take a risk. So this is a little bit dangerous. He's got a pin here, so my knight is undefended, and this rook, if I take his knight, it'll open up an attack on my knight. If I put my knight here right away, sort of proactively, or I could take this knight first and then put my knight here. So block that diagonal, attack his queen. Maybe this loses a pawn, huh? But yeah, because I don't get, I was thinking I would get this pawn at the end, but I don't. But he didn't take the pawn, he went for the big game here. So I say clever move, but does it do anything? You go there. Okay, let's just double up on this pawn. I'll undermine this knight if I manage to take it and hold it. Undermine this rook, rather. Knight h5, rather than what I did. Yeah, knight h5 is good. Hits the queen, defends the pawn. Okay, so I take. He comes here to harass me. Just move my queen here. Maybe that doesn't work. He can take this pawn then. Want to be able to come over here, I guess, and oppose his queen. But I can't because he's going to take this pawn. Now I'll be able to put a rook here. Need to defend this pawn. And then threaten his king. He might be able to win with the bishop here, right? Here check, I take. Here check. I step up. Then bishop here, check. I don't know how I defend. I could block with my bishop. But anyway, he didn't do that. So let's check here first. If he goes to the right, there's a check here. And if he goes to the left, there's a discovered check. So he looks like I managed to scrape by somehow. I think I was losing there. Okay, queen versus rook. I should be able to win this. Let's see. Threaten mate. Ah, gosh, you are so persistent. Well, it's a good move. It's a good move. I take, he takes, I take. It's a piece up. A good try, I guess. That was not a good move. He was just mad and kicking things because he really, if we go to the analysis board, I think he really had a win there. Yeah, so that was a move that lost. He's winning here. Plus 10, plus 11. And yeah, the right answer is rook f8. Always look for these little sacrifices. It's not even a sacrifice, it's a trade, but it forces me up here, and then his bishop can go here or here. Oh, he likes here even better. Huh. Well, the move I saw was bishop here. I mean, really the problem was when I pushed this pawn, I was opening up an attack to get some counterplay, but I also opened up a line towards my king. Not a good idea. So if we go back to the game, so I went here. Yeah, it's just plus 7 all along here, so he's just winning. Plus 12. And then when he pushed that pawn, instead of doing what he did, it's suddenly changed to minus 9. So winning for B. A swindle, yeah, for sure. Let's go get another game. I think I did e4. Starting to lose track. Another Queen's Gambit. Well, I'm going to play my same old style. So it's interesting. He's okay, there he goes. This could be a Moran variation then, but he didn't take right away. Gonna castle. He's not taking. So at this point, I could actually defend this pawn with a pawn. If his bishop comes here, I can move here with the queen. Okay, this is an interesting point. So he's going to put his bishop on b7, look at my king. I can push the e-pawn. He can take, I take, and then he brings the other knight out. He takes, I take, he takes, I take, and then he brings the knight out. And I go back with the bishop. does loosen up things for my dark squared bishop, rather. Oh, he didn't do it. That's very interesting. I shouldn't have done that. I should have played. Let's go back. I just automatically retreated, but this is a perfect setup for a Greek gift sacrifice. Bishop can take here. The knight can go here, defended by my bishop. And my queen can jump out here, or can come out here. Yeah, usually that's enough. Usually that's worth the sacrifice. So yeah, I didn't. I moved that back there, and he went there. You know, of course I was going to do this, but he just moves his knight out here now. And let's see. Let's play with the knight here, I guess. Yeah, I like to play the Greek gift whenever I get a chance, and I just missed it. I think I'll switch the bishop over to this diagonal anyway. Maybe I'll be able to push this or something, bring the rook over. If I go here, he might just trade it off. At least it'll be useful to have the bishop behind the pawn. And the queen should be defended. So now there's a pin on this knight. So I could consider pushing this pawn instead of moving my knight. But I don't have enough force on his knight. Let's see, if I were to put a knight here and then sacrifice, I take, he takes, I take, and it's a check. I think actually that's a good, let's just see how he responds anyway. I think it's a good sacrifice to take here. Well, anyway, yeah, let's see. We got a follow from Itachi. Thank you for the follow. Now, I could go here anyway. It's kind of... he can't take it. Or if he decided not to take it before, or not to allow me to take there, he probably won't take it. If I go here, he takes it, I take. Or f5. Yeah, I was looking at f5. But if he takes it and I take back, I don't have a follow-up, I don't think. Well, let's say mission accomplished. I weakened his king side, and that's what I wanted to do. Now, if I put the knight here, he takes, I take. He might trade queens first, and I don't want him to do that. So let's go here, and then put the knight here. So now when I take back, it'll be a rook on the queen there. As well as hitting his knight. Okay, you're just causing trouble, are you? Still, knight here is a good move. And if he leaves the knight alone, I can sacrifice it here and take here. Might be worth it. G3. If you mean G4, attacking my knight, I would go here anyway. Ah, so he moved the knight away. Oh, because he's got his rook defending this square, so he didn't need the knight to defend it. Let's see, so if I play here and he takes, I can still take back. Maybe I should have, oh, maybe I should have played G3 first. Yeah, that's what you were saying. Yeah. Yeah, I think you were right. Anyway, I still have some pressure here, so it's not too bad. Less prepared to double. One, two, three, four, 5, and 6. He's got 2 places to go with his knight, both on the black rank. Yeah, let's go ahead and double here. It'll be useful. Could be useful. I didn't move it. I take, he takes, I take, he takes. I guess it's okay for him. Not sure. I'm thinking maybe I just play f4 and try and bust through here somehow, but I'm not seeing it anymore. This rook here is kind of annoying. Maybe if I get a rook to f3, but his bishop is on that square. Rook to g3, pawn to f4. Maybe that's a possibility. Aha. So he left the Did I finally get one here? Defends that way. So if the knight moves, well, unless he... let's see if we can open this up a bit. If the knight moves somewhere that defends the bishop, I'll have to move my queen. But I can move to e3 there. we g3, f4. Yeah, he moved his knight to defend my bishop. I'm also in time trouble, so I'm moving quickly. Making my excuses in advance. I have a decent position here, right, with this advanced pawn and the bishop's pointing here, but it's not so simple. Hitting the knight. So he defends. Let's see. Where can I go? Maybe put the bishop behind my queen. Oh, trades. Yeah, didn't see the trade actually. But now I have passed pawns. So now I can push them. The advantage of the bishop over the knight in the endgame, it can defend and attack at the same time. Yeah, and I went on time. It was a tough position. Let's go to the analysis board and see if the computer can defend this. +7. Yeah, no, so I was just winning. Passed pawn must be pushed. Yeah, I was going to follow up with h4 there. Maybe I should have started with h4, but yeah, he didn't have a way to stop it. So materially, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I was 1 pawn up materially. Interesting game. Let's see, what time are we at? We're 11:44. Time for one more game. Let's get somebody new. Okay, let's do a different kind of opening. Got to do a double fianchetto here. Yeah, it's a Reti opening. I used to play this a lot. Haven't recently, but it's not bad. It's interesting. So if I put my knight here, what's he going to do? And I was going to follow up with the c pawn. I guess he could push the d pawn instead of taking. I was planning to take back with the knight if he takes. That was my idea here, and it opens up this bishop, this long bishop diagonal. So he didn't take, and he didn't push. Okay, so I'm just going to bring my knight over to the king side via the most direct route. Excuse me. And then maybe get back to this square. That would be interesting because it's then I'll be looking at this weak pawn here. So he pushes. He pushes. The New York variation, is that what it is? Never heard of it. I don't know, maybe I should have played e4 there. So let's think about this. e4, he can leave the tension or he can take. But the advantage is that blocks this diagonal here that he's trying to attack. Although his battery is hitting a pretty solid obstacle there, even if he does manage to. Yeah, he just allows me to keep that closed. Interesting. So now f4, he takes, I take, but I don't have the knight in a good position for that. Maybe a knight to h4 to f5, something like that. a3, rook a2, and queen a1. Cool. Yeah, I like that maneuver with the queen. You put the rook here, so the queen is queen and rook battery that way, and the queen and bishop battery this way. Let's see, so if I go here and he takes and I take, then actually he can't take again, can he? No, he can. He can take again. So he's going to just let me play my knight here, but then he takes. I think that's okay for me. He can take. It'll at least open up this bishop. Carlsen. Well, Carlsen has proven he can play pretty much anything. So yeah, queen to f3. Looking at his backward c-pawn, defending against the e5 push, although he might push anyway. He hits my queen. Oh, so mean. So here I could play h4 and kick that knight again, or I could bring my bishop back and take it. That was a rhyme. Yeah, yeah. So let's see where his knight goes. Oh, he defends his knight. I'm gonna make it move. I ain't scared. You're gonna move that knight. Yes, you are. Now I've got a square I could move my queen to. If the knight moves, I could take this pawn. But let's just lift the bishop for now. He might be trying to create a weakness over here to counterbalance the weakness of his c-pawn. Yeah. So I'm just going to abandon that and go here. He's going after that with the queen, huh? Okay, I'll defend it. I'll bring the other rook out, I guess. Or maybe I should play here. Play f4 finally. It's kind of weak to play f4 when he's just got the A file open, but I feel a need to do something here. Feel the need for speed. Oh, if he just wants to win the pawn, he can have it. So I guess I'm going with the dark squared bishop because I feel like I need to. Ah, but if I do that, then I no longer am threatening over here. So if I go here, okay, well, I'm threatening to take here, I guess. Then I'll bring my bishop out and threaten to take his bishop. Oh, I went there. Okay. That's all right, isn't it? Is that not all right? He's going to get a second pawn over here, I guess. I am hitting his rook when I take. Then I have the pin on his knight. So he attacks my bishop. Let's see, I can attack his rook. Okay, he's got a mate. He's got a mate threatened there. Okay, let's not allow that. It looks like I give up my bishop this way. Yeah, I do. Pin that knight. At least I don't get mated. Check and take knight. Still check and take knight. Okay, just increase the pressure then. Okay, I've finally gotten the pin that I wanted. But I can't exploit it. So this looks like a draw. After all of that, opposite colored bishops and one pawn difference is probably not enough to win. He did that. Okay, so that last game was a win, I guess. Let's see. Is there anything I want to look at? I don't have time for another game, so I guess I will wrap it up here. Maybe, you know what I have time for is I have time to check out Twitch, see if there's any streamers that are doing something interesting.